Attention bobsled riders! You will soon be embarking on a thrilling podcast down the icy slopes of the Matterhorn, so please remain seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the bobsled at all times. Auf Wiedersehen! Hello, yodelers. We are the Matterhorn Yodelers. I am your host today, Peter, with my co-host
Jackie
and
Jeepers.
And today we're going back to Disneyland.
Yay!
Disneyland.
Let's play.
But this is a special episode because one of our yodelers has made his return to Disneyland Anaheim for the first time in 5 years.
5 long years and such a crick in the neck.
And so, yeah, we recently did a big family. So we were all there. This is
all the yodelers.
all the
First time,
yodelers.
5 years since the gumball rally.
Yep.
And so,
Which I really enjoyed that gumball rally. Good memories from
Yes.
that.
Would I do it again? No, but
well,
Yeah.
you physically can't do that again.
No.
Yeah, no, it's hard doing parks. You know,
Yeah.
being older and the body's just not
I know
the same.
it makes us appreciate the strength of Father Yodeler
Oh
had.
my God.
The
growing up.
mule, but you know what? He never carried us.
He never did.
No.
No, I remember dragging my body through that queue in Thunder Mountain sometimes.
I just remember, like, as a child, it was late at night, and I was like, "Can we just go back? I'm so tired." Father Yoder's like, "No."
We're sticking it out. And I had, you know, like we made it to, I think we did open to close on one day with my family. And I told my son, I was like, I'm very proud of you. You actually made it open to close.
It's not easy.
No.
Like you pushed through. It's not an easy thing to do. Rope drop to close. So.
No.
I appreciate the
And then
daytime
wake
naps.
up the next
Yeah.
day and do rope drop again.
Yeah, you guys.
We did rope drop. I was there
You
for
did
4
it
days.
every night, right?
Yeah, I did rope drop every single day, so I was there for 4
You
days.
beat us our second day there. We're in California Adventure where we got kicked out.
Right.
Or not kicked out, denied access
Denied.
because of the reservation system. And I was all like, when they're like, yeah, we're in the parks now. And we're like, we're just waking up. And we're close.
Yeah.
We were like right across the street from Disneyland where we were staying. And I was like, wow, props to Peter. I know because you weren't walking distance to Disneyland.
No, we took the bus shuttle from the Toy Story parking lot.
That's
So let's see here. What day was it? On Friday,
Yeah.
we parked. We didn't walk to the parking lot that day.
you're just like, no.
Yeah, like it was rough. So like we're like, you know what? We're gonna park. We're gonna pay for parking this day. But you mentioned that you had an interesting experience when you had it with the park reservation system.
First time
Yeah.
reservations, and we made our reservation, air quotes, months before, because we were still like, Friday was supposed to be our family day,
Right.
Thursday was supposed to be our princess day, and then the last day is kind of like just finish up everything we can. So we all switched things around because everyone's schedules were in flux, and we just like, well, we'll just do it all at Disneyland. Well, we've forgotten that, and so when we were meeting you at California Adventure, they're like, oh, you're supposed to be at Disneyland, and I'm all like, no, I'm not.
I've got a park hopper.
I've
You're
got a park
like,
hopper.
yeah.
I'm good. And they're like, nope, it doesn't work like that. And I was just like, I was saying yes, but then in my head I'm going, this is stupid.
Yeah.
So stupid. Just think of the Beast when he goes, how do I look so
It's like
stupid.
you pay for extra. It's like $60
it's
extra.
so much more.
For a park hopper for that freedom, and yet you don't have.
I don't have it, and so we had to go into Disneyland.
I mean, not a bad way to
and it was really
start.
good because we bumped into you.
Yeah.
At
Mark was doing single rider on Matterhorn, and you guys came up and you're like, let's do teacups. I was like, okay.
And my daughter was just like, she wanted to replicate the fun of the
Yeah.
park the first day. And I found that throughout because like we ended up eating like spaghetti on Friday, and it was like
Right.
Saturday night, and she's like, I want to eat spaghetti. And I'm all like, well, I'm not going into California Adventure in the rain just to eat spaghetti.
Where did she eat spaghetti?
At California Adventure at the far west end, where there was like the white buildings where they had like
By the pier.
cafeteria
By the pier.
Okay.
by the pier. Yeah, it was like Because when you guys left, that's when we ate something
Right.
for dinner, and it was like 10 o'clock at that time, or like right before World of Color.
Oh yeah.
And so there
Did
was
you
like
see World of
leftovers.
Color?
No, we didn't do it.
Okay. I wasn't sure. I don't think anybody did World of Color. We
did.
all got tickets, but we never did it.
Yeah, that was the night when you guys.
We left a little
You left
early.
early.
We were kind of burnt out, and yeah.
Spider-Man's line was ridiculous that night.
California Adventure at night is kind of miserable with wait times. I feel like
It can be.
It doesn't lighten up
no
because
It
park
gets
always
progressively
closes
worse.
early, and
Like California's Adventure is really good in the morning.
more
So like
yes
morning, like because I was in the first thing in the morning, and like
it's easy
it's empty. Like we literally
other than
did,
Guardians.
we literally did like more than half of the rides within the first 2 hours of the
yes
day, easily. And so that just made the rest of the day easier. So it made it so that like when
you
we're
could
waiting-
accommodate what our needs were. Like, we want to do Guardians,
We're gonna do
Credit
Little
Coaster,
Mermaid.
Spider-Man, and Little Mermaid. Those were the
Yeah.
big ones. After that, we
Yeah.
didn't do anything. Turtle Talk, Crush.
Right.
We did that. So yeah, the reservation thing got thrown off, and I remember like going to the ticket kiosk, and they're like, "No, sorry, we're all sold out." And I was like, "This is so stupid. I don't like this. I could see why people don't like reservations. I paid more money, and I'm getting denied." So that was my like first negative thing where I'm like, "This is taken away from the Disney fun. This bureaucracy." Next thing was just noticing things breaking down. Construction.
Right. There was a
Yeah.
lot that happened. There was a lot of
Like
breakdowns on
it
the
ruined the
trip.
construction part. The Little Mermaid breaking down when we were leaving California Adventure. Like my daughter just like, "Oh, I want to go on Little Mermaid. It's broken." Like I have to hear for like the next 3 years
Right.
about a broken ride, like the Little Mermaid. It's like it's an Omni mover. Like how it's just one of those like, come on guys, maintain it. These are supposed to be like your
The
foundation,
easiest-
like
the easiest attractions to maintain.
I thought it was interesting because on this trip I felt like there were less breakdowns than my last trip.
Oh, I feel the opposite. For me, it
But
was
my
more-
last trip was bad with breakdowns.
I think I remember hearing that, and I'm all like, that sounds miserable.
Yeah.
Sounds
Where
like-
half your park is broken, and you're
Yeah.
like, why?
That sounded like my Disneyland Adventure Day we did when we did Disneyland D&D, where everything broke down.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Mr. Lincoln broke
It was
down
funny.
on me.
You're stuck in there for 6 hours.
Mark and I
the doors let me out.
Mark and I did Mr. Lincoln, and I was like, we're gonna be stuck here for 2 hours.
That was a fun game we played.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you want to listen, it was recorded a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was November.
So yeah, it was just things broke down. We did get stuck on Roger Rabbit as a family.
That's right. I'd never been broken down. I've never been evac'd off of Roger Rabbit
That one
before.
scared me, just because of the legal book we read.
Oh, right.
Oh.
I just never, and I have my kid, and I'm just like,
Don't
hold
get
on.
out
I was
of
like,
the car.
hold on my hand. Like I was nervous riding
Yeah.
that ride.
Well, we got broken down at, like, the worst part
What
of that
part?
ride.
That's the end.
The end.
Oh.
The blank, the end portion.
Where you see all the loogies on
After-
the wall, on the black wall.
After you go through the hole in the wall. So, like,
And-
that room right before. Like, that's where it broke down
Half
for
our
us.
party had already gotten off the ride.
Right.
But we all got fast passes.
We
so
did.
That was great.
And
Yeah.
then
That was the positive.
and
of it.
then they took them away from us. So this is where we get into like your tickets on your phone,
Oh,
right?
right.
Oh, yeah.
And
It
so
gets
we
weird, yeah.
we went to Smuggler's Run, and we were trying to do child swap. So your
Right.
child swap's no longer a little fast pass ticket anymore. It's on your phones with your ticket. And the guy used my fast pass or my daughter's fast pass as opposed to the child swap or putting it on. And so
Right.
he screwed it up to where at the end of the night we were missing our magical universal wild card fast
Right.
pass.
Which honestly, you probably could have gone to a guest service spot, which they're throughout the park, and they would have added.
They
it.
would have, but it just,
that's a more.
But the
work.
guy goes like, "Oh, just let them know," and the guy kind of just like waved me off, like, "Yeah, I screwed up. Sorry,
I've
that's somebody
always-
else's problem." And I was like, in my mind later, I'm going, "Screw you, buddy! Like, you could have been like, I'm so sorry. Let me put 2 on there for you,
Yeah.
or get my manager to help you when
I've-
you get off the ride."
I've also had bad experience at Millennium Falcon when it comes to rider swaps. messing things up. So like, yeah, I have a very similar, maybe it was just, dealing with new employees with Star Wars Land. I don't know, because even my wife, she was having issues with how they handled the rider swap for Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah, they were like, no, you can't do this.
Yeah, because we have babies in our party. Like, you have your child, I had mine, and so, me and you, we've got in line while our wives watch the babies. And so normally how child swap works is they'll give you 2 fast passes, one for the person waiting and one for somebody else. Well, when they saw that your wife and my wife were in the same party, they said, no,
you guys ride together.
You guys ride together, and that's it.
Yeah.
And it would have been cool for my daughter or your son to ride the ride.
To ride it again. And
to share it with the kid. They did. They stole that. And at that point, we had to go like, all right, let's play the game. I don't know you. I want a child swap too.
Correct.
Like, and I was like, that's stupid. Like, give them the pickle. That's like the...
And I remember because I was there seeing Casey try to argue with the cast member, and I could see Casey getting frustrated.
She was. She complained. She actually sent him an email.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Good for her, because that is stupid. Like, I'm not usually on the guest side, but like in this instance, it's just like there could have been a kid parent experience there, and they stole it because they're being stingy with the line.
Yeah, and I saw the cast member, and she was just stubborn. She was like, nope, and I was just like...
She even said, like, oh, I'm not going to lose my job over this.
Oh, she's at that stage of her career.
Yeah. And so,
when you start spelling out your name, like, go to write the email, make sure you spell it out correct. That way I can hear the complaint correctly.
I was just like... There was no way to convince that cast member elsewise, and it was just better just to leave it alone and move on and just deal with it.
Because
I'm not going to lose my job over it.
She was actually trying to do something nice for your wife.
Yeah,
because
she was
she was feeding your child, and she's I'm just getting this for her because she's feeding. Oh no, you're together, so you don't get one.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the frustrating aspect of dealing with child swap this time around.
We had to game it a little bit.
They changed the policy. And,
they restricted. It used to give you 3 fast passes. Now it's only 2.
Like it's really making that much of a difference. Before the old like 88 passes, you could bring up 6 people.
Right.
And it was just, it was an interesting dealing with that, and the whole
you got
like
the rider
phone
swap, and then you got the DAC, the disability one, which really affects things. Like, we did Peter Pan.
Oh, that messed up your whole evening. Like we met up with you.
It was like a 30-minute wait time. We're like, yeah, let's do it. Like, it was the last ride. Like, we haven't done at Disneyland. Let's just do it. And it was an hour wait because all the people after the fireworks came in with all the disability, and they don't limit the party size. So if you're a party of 6, they let all of those go, and that just slows things down.
Boy, if you want to see hate and eyes towards people in wheelchairs, that is when you get the mob energy. I just like, they'll just stare at me like, they'll say stupid things.
And I'm just like, especially for like Peter Pan, it's just like only like 1 or 2 other people can ride with that person. Like, the other people can wait in that line.
Yep. Yeah, because they would do the same for us with if I walked up that with a baby, they'd be like, no, get in line.
Yep.
You'll do the rider swap. So, and the whole ticket thing on the phone and the scanner.
Did it take time to get adjusted to it?
It was... you had to start managing your phone battery life while you're in the park, and making sure your app's not doing GPS the whole entire time. But it was with having the ticket issues. We had it in multiple places where we basically, since our daughter was at 40 inches,
they had to check every.
They had to check every time. So when we used our ticket and we were short a ticket, we would just be like, "Oh, she needs to get checked." And then we would just scan 2 of them and go in.
Right. We did that one.
You would just mob them, and they're just like...
It's easy.
It's so easy to take advantage of, like, the Fast Pass and the number of people you have.
Because, like, they check by, like, they have, a tablet there, but usually the person who has the tablet is busy talking, and it's so easy to just get through
Distract
the fast pass.
and get it.
Yeah. If you just have one and you just, like, do it, there's a bunch of people, like...
But I'll say this. The Magic Band is great. It made things easier, and they did just file a patent. They're updating the entry points to Disneyland now.
Yes.
To be more
It's going to be like Disneyland
magic.
Paris.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So they're gonna Magic Bands are they're doubling down on the Magic Bands. So be prepared that's going to be something they're going to be pushing hard at Disneyland.
I would, you know what? I think my experience might have been better if I had the Magic Band.
Well, and...
Instead of dealing with my phone and
Correct.
like, let me take this out. It would have been like, that's what I hated was like, my experience in the park now is driven through my phone.
Right.
But also,
And
like...
I didn't like that shift.
You could... Before they stopped doing the paper tickets, you could use your ticket to scan it.
Yeah.
And that's the same as like a Magic
Right.
Band.
It is.
But because they got rid of it, it does make it difficult because you're on your phone, and yeah.
Because I remember when we went to Paris, I was like, I want to get a paper map. Like, we don't do paper maps. And I was like, oh, we're in the age of digital now.
Yeah.
And this was the first time, like, my ticket. Now, it wasn't I'd done tickets on there, but everything was driven through. My food experience
Yep.
through there, like, just all my planning. And I get it. It's handy. But I'm trying to escape my life through a phone.
That's the
with a
problem.
phone. And I was like, this is different.
Yep.
And I was like,
You spend a lot of your time. So instead of walking around experiencing the park, you're walking from one place to the other down on your phone like, okay, I got to mobile order my food. I've got to get my next lightning lane set up.
there was a lot of that planning with us where it's like, oh, it's 4:30. Let's all get our tickets right now and go. And like, well, my wife's not here. I don't have my tickets on my phone. And it was just like, it's a ordeal. But is it better than having to run across the park and get
to get a
fast pass?
pass, yeah.
Well, and
That
it-
is nice. Not I could sit in a restaurant and do it, or I could be in line somewhere else. That is nice. But I don't like my whole experience besides rides and walking around are pretty much through the phone now.
Yeah.
They are 100%.
I lost my hat, and I had to file a claim through my phone. That was easy. It's way better than waiting in City Hall.
Oh yeah.
But again, it just shows you I have to go through my phone.
Yeah, there was one day, it was just Mark and I, we started a California Adventure, and before, like, we would do lightning lanes and get the Genie Plus experience, but this time we didn't. Like, we didn't want to pay for it, and it was such a different experience. I was like, wow, like, I totally feel, like, stress-free. Like,
It's a different time.
it's a different experience.
It is. It's just like one of those things. Like,
It's
what's
your priority?
What's your priority? What's important to you?
Yeah.
Like, are you looking? What's your experience? Is your experience going to be? I need to get everything done. Then yeah, you're going to want that lightning lane. If your goal is just, I just want to like relax and have fun, lightning lane may not be the option for you.
Right.
Yeah, we only got like the Genie because we were in the group, and
Right.
it was just gonna work
Help a lot
better.
better.
And it did.
It helps,
but it costs
at
money.
night.
It costs a pretty penny. That's for sure.
And that was like, that's something I learned. It's like lightning lane is beneficial at nighttime, but not in the day, like in the morning.
Yes.
Yep, I can see that.
So, okay, so you experienced new foods.
New foods. I did the new tiki outside seating where
The tropical hideaway.
yeah, it was good. I really liked it. It was nice that they opened up that area where you could sit.
I remember you laughing at me back when you went last, and I was looking through the little knot
Yeah,
holes in the
it was
fence of while they
silly.
were building that. You're like, oh my gosh, this
It's
kid.
it's like the vlogger kind of
Yes.
like, well, I'll stick my phone over the wall, and you could see all the construction.
What was about to open, so I was kind of
So,
excited.
what foods did you enjoy the most then?
I liked the lumpias and the baos, the bios. You know, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but they're good. Yeah, one thing I didn't like at the food experiences are the straws.
Oh,
Oh, the
paper
paper
straw.
straws, yeah.
I know. Every time, like, while I'm prepping to go to Disney, I'm like, I need to bring like, a box of plastic straws.
Something.
Well, what made things difficult was because, like, when they first introduced the paper straws, they still had the plastic lid. So people were like, "What's the difference?" And so then they took away the plastic
But
lid.
the thing is,
Because that's Animal Kingdom did that. They're like,
right.
yeah.
But the thing is, some locations still offer the plastic lids.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
plastic lids throughout my
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah. But
Just
every time
paper
I had
straw
to,
that melts, and you're like, they don't want you, slowly sipping your drink. That's for sure.
but I always had the difficulty of pushing a stroller with a drink in my hand. I'm like,
Yeah.
Can I get 2 cups and I can break it up or something, and somebody else can hold my other? So yeah, the other foods. I'm trying to think. I had a strawberry churro. That
oh
was,
yeah, I had the strawberry churro.
It was
too.
okay.
Yeah.
With they had the chocolate dipping sauce for like
Did
$2.50.
you get your chimichangas?
I did not get a chimichanga this
Oh.
time. No.
Just wasn't calling you.
I wanted to
Oh.
eat it, but I didn't see it or I didn't remember where it was.
Right.
And so I was like, this is my first experience doing Disneyland with kids. So my priority and looking for things was put on the back burner. My wife was actively trying to get me on Indiana Jones. Like, it's okay. I did a whole trip one time where I wrote it like 13 times. Like, I've been on Indiana Jones. Because, but they've changed it. And I'm like, it's okay. They haven't changed it so much where the ride is completely different.
Yeah.
So I just but my priority was not me.
Right.
It was my kids.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's a change in 5 years.
Yep.
Having kids in there and so there's a little bit of grieving, but there's more of like, I already knew, like, this isn't the trip of like old yodelers trying to accomplish everything at once. Nope.
No.
I knew. I was like, you're not going to ride everything, and it's okay. Just ride the new stuff that you haven't done.
Well, so there was a lot of new things that you experienced.
Star Wars Land.
Star Wars Land. What was your thoughts on Star Wars Land?
I thought it's really good, immersive. Like, you jump in and you feel like you're in
I thought
a
the-
galaxy far, far away.
I think the transition is great too.
Yeah, it's
On
so
both ends.
isolated.
On
Yes.
both ends. Both entrances were fantastic.
I thought it was huge because I was like trying to at one point we were waiting for our food and I was like, I'll take care of my daughter to go
Yeah,
Winnie
she
the
wanted
Pooh.
to ride a ride.
She was like, I want to ride a ride, and she was at that witching hour of taking a nap, and she just I was like, man, it just keeps going and going and going. I look on the map, there's only 2 rides,
Yeah.
but yet they need all that space.
They're big rides.
Yeah.
So it was massive. The food was fun there.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I had.
Oh, it was like.
Did you get the
this-
chicken?
No, it was this.
My daughter
beef
had the
thing.
chicken. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
You got what we got. It was like this beef bean thing. It was
And rice.
really good.
It was good. Different flavors.
Yeah.
Everything felt. I didn't feel like I was on Earth eating, Disneyland food.
Right.
Yeah.
It felt like I was eating Star Wars food, So that was
Tip-yip.
fun. Yeah, so it was fun.
Did you get a Ronto wrap? Did you try one?
No, I didn't
You
try
didn't
them.
get a Ronto wrap. Okay.
No, we
I love my Ronto wrap.
So there were 2 attractions.
Two
That you
attractions.
experienced are brand
did the Smuggler's Run. That was fun. I was a pilot to the
Yeah.
right. It was kind of fun. I was like, oh, I only do up and down. And
right.
new. The other person does left.
But
and
you got
right.
to pull the hyperspace.
I pulled the
lever.
hyperspace. My daughter rode that. She rode that, and she was like, again, barely at that
Right.
height. And I'm all like, and they separate you. And I'm
Right.
like, how is she going to do? And I look over, and all the little buttons pushing
Was
perfect. She got
Yeah.
involved, and she didn't feel alone. And so my wife was right next to her, but there's that space. It's like flying.
It's a big space.
and
yeah.
you're just like, whoa. But she enjoyed it, and that was good because then I can enjoy my experience. Part of me was watching and going, was this originally a 3D ride? Because it's like the screen is kind of blurry in there. But fun ride, where you can control what you're doing and there's different experiences. It's just cool walking into the Millennium Falcon in the wait area. And then you
Yes.
walk into you walk into the cockpit and you're just
Yeah.
like, this is awesome.
Right.
Like, you guys did it. You guys
Yeah.
accomplished what every kid wanted to do after watching Star Wars is like, I want to be in that
I want to
pilot
fly
seat.
the Millennium Falcon.
And you get to do that. And that was so cool. And, the new rides that I did ride there, the Rise of the Resistance,
Yeah,
Mickey's,
how was that? Rise of the Resistance.
Rise of the
Let's hear it.
Resistance, that was good. I love how you're going from scene to scene. It's not like one giant queue. The queue's great. You get to sit down. If you do get to sit down, it moves.
It moves. It's a
It
constantly
moves
moving.
once you're like inside.
It would
you're
be great if
outside,
it
it's a little
broke down.
slower.
Then you could sit down. That would be like, that was really cool. But yeah, you're going from like shuttle to the like, being captured and like, so you're
How was
moving.
the feel like when you saw the stormtroopers?
That was cool. I was like, I
Right.
feel like I'm on a set, you know?
Were you thrown off with how you got off the shuttle? Because a lot of people get thrown because like you enter the shuttle through one door and you exit the same door.
No,
You weren't thrown.
I didn't
off
think
by
about that. I had my little daughter with me.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
I wasn't
more fixated
sure
on that.
because I know a lot of people who experienced that for the first time. They're like, "Oh, I thought it was just like a doorway." To
No,
the...
you move.
Yeah, it's a revolving.
Oh, cool. Great big,
It's a big
beautiful
circle.
tomorrow.
Yep,
Yeah.
big circle.
So that was kind of cool. Just, I didn't think about the mechanics. I just went with the show.
Yeah.
And that was fun. You know, just going there, being captured and yeah, I had no problems with it. I was happy with it. And I was like, I'm going to leave it at that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I was fearful of the yodeler picking at, you know, like, let me pick at this another time and ruin it. No,
No,
I
it's
left
a
it as
solid
it.
ride.
I think when you wrote it, I think everything was working. Except
Was
obviously,
it?
except for the guns, of course, because those haven't worked
Oh.
since it opened.
Which
But,
is so sad. It's so good.
But I think everything was working. I did get video of your entire ride through.
How fun.
So I was sitting in front of you with my video camera facing backwards, looking at
You got homage to a Father Yodeler.
Yeah.
You know, that's cool.
So I wanted to.
It was
make
fun. Just seeing you got the lightsaber coming down,
To the
Kylo
ceiling.
Ren. Yeah, the interaction of Kylo Ren and the animatronics. Disney has done well with their new rides. They go, these are future rides. This elevates.
Yes.
And they're doing it with the Star Wars rides or the Mickey Mouse Railway.
Yeah, Mickey's Runaway Railway. It's like the new style of dark rides.
Yeah, screens. You
Yeah.
know, I didn't really care for Ratatouille, but this one was fun.
Right.
This one was.
It wasn't
good.
necessarily you watching a TV screen. It was
No.
you interacting with the room.
Yeah, when you get to the tornado scene and you're all like mixing up, that was great. You know, I felt like I was in a Mickey Mouse cartoon. You nailed it, Mickey.
Yeah.
Or Disney. You nailed it. Good job. It was much needed in Toontown.
Very much.
Toontown looked better.
It looked
Oh, it looks
fantastic. It was my first time with
great.
New Toontown. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
great.
It looked good.
So of the new things, what was your favorite?
As you're saying it, the Mickey Railway is
Yeah.
it was the one where I could take the whole family and have fun
Yeah.
and not worry about anything. I think with my kid being there and being so small and young, Star Wars, I was more focused on her, so it took me out a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was such a good experience that I'm going, this was fun.
Yeah.
They nailed it. I walked away going, good job, Disney.
I mean, the fact that you can walk up to the Millennium Falcon, a life-size
Yeah.
version of the Millennium Falcon, and just take a photo in front of it is.
It's awesome.
You could have just done that, no rides, and
Yeah.
people would have been happy.
Yeah, and I really liked just some of the characters walking around. I got to see like Dahlia. She was in the books.
Right.
And it's funny, like she walked around. I was like,
Nobody-
one knows
nope.
who you
Yeah.
are, but I do. You know.
Yep.
It was like Levi was giving her sass.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is the bad guys are cool or something like that.
Yeah, and I was all like, she's a spy anyways. And then- so yeah, that one's kind of cool to see Disney employees just walking around, try to give life to the area.
Yeah.
That was fun.
I know. At least we saw Mando and Grogu.
Oh, you
cool.
did?
Yeah, on our first day, we saw them, and then
We saw R2D2.
we
for
did
a
see
little bit.
R2.
Yep, and Chewie. Saw Chewie and Rey. So didn't see Ahsoka. I know Ahsoka
No.
was around.
Oh, I
but-
did. I walked by Ahsoka
Oh,
at one
did you?
point. It was, yeah, she was good. It was fun to see her. It was like she walked up and I was like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Hey, Ahsoka.
What's up?
I like your show. Where's Thrawn?
What's Thrawn showing up? Is Thrawn here?
You want a Thrawn meet and greet?
Oh,
Since you're here, is Thrawn here? Just wondering. That would be an awesome meet and greet.
It would be fun just to see him come out on that stage and then
Just
like,
stand. He just has
First
to
Order.
stand up straight. That's all he has to do, and I'd be like,
You'd be the only one.
I probably
No, there would be plenty of people. There's a lot of Thrawn fans.
old school.
Yeah.
Old school Star Wars. I really like the just like the stores they had, and they had some fun merchandise. Like with the lightsabers and building.
Well, they made it a point in that land that there's no merchandise you can buy that actually says Star Wars on it.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
That's fun.
So
Where
if you
you're
want Star Wars branded merchandise, you have to go to Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
which makes sense. You get it at Star Tours.
Yeah.
And they have that big store there where
Yeah.
it's devoted for that. Yeah, I didn't do Star Tours this run, so I didn't make it through that store. I did get a limited edition Harrison Dula doll. My daughter's like, I want a toy.
saw that,
And
I was like, I hope they.
And we did. I was like, not often I'm gonna see like it's
A doll.
it's a good quality doll. Like the leather jacket is actual leather. And like it's funny, my daughter's like, "Oh, she's got a gun," and I was all like, "How do you know about guns? Are you watching that on that kid YouTube? What's going on over there?" So, but I was like, "You're named after her," and she's like, "Okay."
You're like a
Oblivious.
green alien?
Oblivious, yeah. So that was kind of fun to share in that moment. But Star Wars Land is really cool. What else was new? Pixar Pier was new to
Yeah,
me.
California Adventure was. A little
They
new.
updated the Incredicoaster. Loved that. Before it was like, oh, you see some of the characters, but they
The
put in that.
theming's great.
They
on
did
the
a better job with the
Incredicoaster.
theming and the lava
yeah.
and the door, and then you see the big giant Jack at the end.
I love me some cookie num nums.
I actually got one.
Did you?
It was a really good cookie.
It is a great cookie.
Okay.
They nailed the cookie. I was like sharing it, and I was like, "Oh, here, honey, can you hold on to it?" I look around the corner, and then like it's gone. I was like, "What'd you do with the?"
It's gone.
rubber?" And she's like, "It was good." That's all she has to say.
We got it back in August, and maybe ours was just bad, but I was just like, "This is crunchy."
I love it how it's because it's normally
was still
fresh.
soft. Yeah, it was
It's
fresh.
normally warm and fresh. So like we'll normally get two, and we'll split it.
Look,
It's good sharing stuff.
Costco new chocolate chip cookies are same quality.
I don't know. I haven't tried those yet, but yeah, there was no line. I was like, well, I might as well get it because the ride was shut down at the time,
Yeah.
and so we got it at that time. I'm trying to think. Avengers Campus.
Yeah. That's
Lots
a
of
whole new
concrete.
one.
Yes.
Big open space. I saw like the Spider-Man show briefly. That was kind of cool to see what
Did
was
you
going
see
on
the
there.
animatronic?
I did.
Yeah.
I was like, that's really cool. I have to say, the new animatronics that I'm seeing, much better. And that's
Oh,
nice to see more realism, not Abraham Lincoln and we once the redhead,
Yeah.
pirates, 1960s animatronics. But Avengers Camp is really cool. I like how they have the show on the stage. Guardians is great, as always. Spider-Man, another future, like, hey, Disney, you're doing really cool with that. It was kind of funny. My score was really low at first because like, how does this work? I'm like flicking my wrist. I'm like, how do I aim?
And you realize you just gotta go.
You
nuts.
just like
you
move
just
your
touch,
arms. You're
yeah.
doing a Richard Simmons workout.
Yeah.
You're just moving and shaking.
And you get off, and you're like, man, my arms are tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember one trip I did Spider-Man, and then right after Spider-Man we did Toy Story. That was the worst mistake ever.
Oh yeah. You're just like my forearms.
My arms hurt so bad after.
That's actually what we did on Friday.
Oh,
Because
yeah?
we started with Spider-Man, and then we went over to the pier and did Toy Story.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Those
A
were
nice arm workout.
those were fun. To walk through. I didn't eat any. Oh, we did eat the big giant pretzel.
Yes, I got the giant.
Oh, that
Pretzel.
pimps.
Yes, to satisfy some hungry children.
Sure.
Yeah, give them some fuel. The queue at Spider-Man was long.
Yeah,
If it's outside,
Never get in the queue if it's outside.
never.
Never. do it.
It took forever, and it wasn't even completely full, but it took us an
Honestly,
hour.
it's fast pass. You got to look at the fast pass line.
And if it breaks down.
Right.
Yeah, but
But I will say this: first thing in the morning, empty.
yeah, because there's all the big attractions.
So like, if you don't mind waiting to ride Guardians or Soarin',
Well, it's interesting because a lot of the resort guests that like have the early entrance will rope drop Spider-Man
really,
or Guardians.
I think Guardians.
Well,
are,
I guess
Oh, it's an anchor.
when I did it, Spider-Man, you had to like the only way to get a lightning lane was to pay extra.
right,
So that's why you would rope drop it, so you didn't have to pay for it.
right.
Okay.
But that's changed.
They got
so-
rid of. They just included that with Genie Plus.
Right.
Yeah, it was exciting to be in California Adventure. They had the San Fran Tokyo
Yeah.
theme.
I loved that area.
Totally cool.
That was new for us.
That's a. I do like that the area feels more thematic.
It's
was-
lively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt like it was although a cheap overlay, a good overlay.
It was a good overlay.
I was like, oh, this enhances it instead of like, I'm at the Fisherman Wharf, you know,
Right.
where's my free tortilla, you know, back in the day.
right.
Yeah, I think Disney just needs to take notes. Like, you don't need to do a heavy overlay for every little thing. Like, just do the small, simple things.
Like Bulldoze Tomorrowland.
Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, they just announced a $1.9 billion expansion to Disneyland. Disneyland Forward.
Did that get approved?
It went to council to get approved.
It's going to council, but Disney has just said
You don't bring things up if
we
you're
are
going to
going
win.
to put
Right.
$1.9 billion into Disneyland Forward.
They're right now Disney's just trying to
Jobs.
get Sony approved.
Yes.
Yeah, so you present it to the city council, and then they've got to approve it. But yeah,
But they threw out some interesting possible attraction themes. They mentioned Rapunzel, obviously Frozen. I would love to see a Rapunzel attraction.
That would be cool to see Rapunzel.
I agree. Yeah, I briefly saw that, and I was like, oh, I could see that over there. But you know what? California Adventure is probably in its best state I've ever seen it.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, the weakest part is, Hollywood.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
Which we've talked about before, and
Bulldoze.
we want to bulldoze that place.
we hung out there while, everybody went out and did
On
Guardians.
Guardians, yeah.
And the saddest part of losing that area would be the animation.
Yeah.
Which is
It's
slowly
booming. It's like every time I'm there, like
It's
everybody
busy.
wants to do the animation drawing.
Well, and Turtle Talk,
Turtle Talk,
is
right.
trending on TikTok.
It's fun. We went twice.
Yeah.
When it's raining, you're like, let's just
Yeah.
hang out here. And they bring in the characters when that's going on. So we got to meet Daisy.
Did you meet Anna and Elsa?
We did it because they didn't, and that was one thing. Is like with the rain, it totally kills off all
Oh,
characters. And so one thing new we didn't talk about is characters, or more walking around.
yes,
And so I don't know if you guys noticed this or met many characters. They talk now.
yes.
They
Wait.
go.
Oh yeah,
They
they
do.
would. They would
kissies.
pop. Yeah,
They pop for kissies now.
yeah, they do.
That is, so we met Olaf, and Olaf was just like, these little like kissies. And I was like, this is different. I don't know
That's
how I
new.
feel about it, but
We haven't really done character stuff. Mark doesn't really like it.
I feel like they've
so-
always done that because I feel like I've had a lot of
Maybe
interactions with like
maybe,
Goofy
the
and Donald.
levelness.
And they would do it.
I've never, never experienced that. I mean, I had a friend that was a character, and it was like, you're silent or you're fired.
Yeah.
Right.
And so this is the first time where it was over the top. Like Minnie was doing it. Olaf did it. We had 3 interactions where I was like, oh, this is an accepted practice now. This isn't like, I'm going to be cute and see what I can get away with. Kind of like, let me tell a dirty joke on the Jungle Cruise.
Right.
Like this is, it's allowed. So it enhanced the experience with character. Really positive experiences with characters.
I think so. And yeah, definitely a lot more characters walking around.
Yeah.
I saw Meredith. I saw Moana.
I saw a new Little Mermaid.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
new
New
Little
Ariel.
Mermaid. New Ariel. Yeah, that one surprised me to see. Walking
I know
around.
Mirabelle and Miguel from Coco.
I saw Pete.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pete Pete's a new
Oh,
character
and
for
I
Toontown.
No
saw
Don
Cla-
Kennard.
No Don.
Clarabelle.
Oh yeah, we got a picture with Clarabelle when it was raining.
So on our family day, we rope dropped Toontown. I loved it. Rope dropping Toontown was great.
It was empty.
It was fun
And
starting off
characters
with like
popped
Alice.
out.
It was a fun experience going to Toontown. And so when we went to Star Wars Land, it was good to like I wasn't in Disney anymore, so it was an easier transition to like something completely different.
Galaxy's Edge has this weird vibe to it that doesn't feel like it's part of
It
Disneyland.
doesn't.
It feels like it's its own thing, which is, I think, a good thing.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think it's a
For
good
its
thing that
theming.
it doesn't feel like you're at a Disney park.
Because you're going from Frontierland / Fantasyland or
It is weird when you
or
ride Thunder Mountain, you get
Orleans.
see Batu, and you're like, oh, okay.
You know what? That doesn't bother me. Like
Yeah.
seeing it, it blends well. Like when you're looking at it from
You just
like
see
New
it's a mountain
Orleans,
range.
you just see mountain range. They did really good job with that for me. So I have no issues with Star Wars.
And I think they did a good job for everything, because like for Disneyland, they had to deal with different issues than they did with Disney World, because they actually painted their rocks differently in both the parks. Because Disney World, they can do whatever they want because
they got space.
They got space, and no one's
Yeah.
really gonna see it unless you're purposely looking for it on Slinky Dog.
Right.
You know,
I see it. They ruined the magic.
right? Whereas Disneyland, you got a whole other issue. You got people that can see it from Pirates,
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Yep.
You know, and
The
so
treehouse.
the treehouse.
Oh, let's
big
talk about the
fan of it.
treehouse.
You didn't like it.
I don't like it because I was walking and I was like, is this the entrance? No, that's the exit. And I had to go around the corner to go up. And at that point, I was all like, as a cast member that's worked at the treehouse, you're making guests think. when
They
you
need it.
shouldn't,
They need to have an attendant at the entrance.
to go around the corner. That's
Right.
the exit. Because
Right.
I was bumping into
You
people.
need one at the entrance and one at the exit to make sure that people are going through the proper ways.
Or just have like a gate that says exit in
on
front
the
of
gate,
it.
but they had this sign that was like the size of my hand,
Yeah.
and I was like, no, you, because I was multiple times having like, I have a baby and I have to stop, and just because you have some guests that's just like too big for me to walk safely when it's raining on these wet steps, and I'm
That's
all like,
hard.
let me get some space because these people are dumb and can't read. And then I looked at the sign, I'm going, of course they can't read this because it's so small.
Yeah.
You failed. Like this part. Other than that, it's pretty.
It's cute.
There's some great views up there
It's great to go at. We went
at
on
night.
it at night.
That's when you go.
I was going to do it on it was Thursday night while my wife was riding Indiana Jones first, and I had the baby, and I was like, well, I'll do the treehouse. It was already closed. I was like, I didn't get to do it.
Yeah,
So-
that was one of the last things I did was the treehouse. We did the tiki room and the treehouse. One new thing that I've never done before is the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique.
Yes.
It was
Tell us about that experience.
Yeah.
so you go in, you make your appointment. You got to make sure you're there on time. They go and they go like, "Oh, welcome here," and then they show like the big old like their little plastic. These are our packages, and so we're just like, let's do that one. And so she got the full experience where she gets the dress.
She did Elsa, right?
She did Elsa.
Oh.
That dress is so well made.
Oh yeah.
It is not like we got
It's
a
not
Did you do
Walmart
like
brand.
the higher?
we did the
package?
higher priced one.
Okay.
And she got like a great dress. And when they itemize your receipt and they tell you what your like resale, like this is how much this product is. And like the dress had these like pleats. It's a well done costume. I've seen some of the cheaper ones, but like at the higher end, well done.
It's not Party City Elsa.
Not Party City Elsa. It's not Target.
Yeah.
It's not not Party City Elsa. The embroidery, it was just, and it's not. So if you're like, oh, it's just cheap, it's like, well, you get the expensive one, you're getting a nice dress.
So that dress is sticking around for
Oh,
your
it's
other
not.
daughter.
It's very expensive. We got a crown, we got the sash. She got a hair extension. She got the hair done. She got her nails done.
Did she enjoy the experience?
She loved it.
Okay.
I've never seen her smile
Aw.
so much in the experience where she is just catered to, and she is. I was like, we just had Christmas a month ago,
Yeah.
and like the highs and smiles are like they're short lived, but this smile was consistent for like a good hour. She's just taking it in and just being doted on, and like the magic wand of putting the glitter in the hair. It's very sweet. We did opt into the photo package. I recommend that if you're going to get the dress and all that.
Mine as well.
Yeah.
I didn't even know, like, there's a gift shop right off of the fairy tale story like pavilion.
Yeah.
And in there's a carriage and like a horse where they have a photo shoot with them, and they have like little like Disney like mannequin animals where they can interact and do pictures. And so we did the picture, and the pictures, like just paying I think it was like $90 or something like that. Just paying for the extra pictures made the whole experience, just because you get this like one-on-one time for like, I think you get like 5 minutes of like a Disney character and they're just doing a photo shoot with your daughter or son in the prince or princess outfits, and it was totally worth it. It really, instead of us having taking like iPhone pictures, we got really professional pictures, and they print out the pictures for you to take with you. And so after that, we went and saw the princess, and all the princesses were like, "Oh, hi, princess! It's so nice." It was very sweet, and she got to meet Anna at the pavilion, and
Did she?
yeah, and it was really nice. It was a good experience. That was the day when it was raining, so like within an hour and a half, that smile turned sour real quick, and I got a good picture of that where so like, "Hey, we're having fun." She was like, "No," it was just like happy, sad, real quick.
Yeah.
Really great, magical. I'll do it again with my my little 7-month-old right now. Not right now, but when you have to be 3. I think you have to be 3 to do it. You can go in there. They have packages for guys, girls. You can go in there, just get your hair done.
Like adults?
Just girls.
Oh,
like
okay.
if you're a young kid, you just get your hair like slicked back, and they put it in a bun, and they put the glitter in there, and you can just wear what you're wearing.
You can ask as an adult.
You could
for
get
the glitter.
pixie dusted.
You can get
You get the pixie dust. I really like how they did the theming inside. It was really good.
That was the place where that's at. That was Father Yodeler's favorite gift shop.
It was,
Yeah.
and it was.
Back
I knew
when it
that,
was a gift
and it was sad. Me talking of Father Yodeler. You mentioned at Disneyland they have a music band in a box.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
And I sent the picture to you guys when I
Yeah.
was there.
It's in the Frontier shop.
It was in the Frontier shop, but it's in the way back.
Yep.
And so I had 1 quarter, and I popped it in, and I sat there and I listened to it, and I was like, looking at someone, I was like, Walt, I was like, being like, Walt picked this out, like he wanted this restored, and they're like, okay,
That's nice.
I'm just here for the Crocs, like,
Yeah, it's right
and I was
there.
like, this is Walt here in the park, and
Yes.
yes, I nerded out because of what Father Yodeler brought up in it, and so
Go back to what was that? There was the music challenge music. I don't know. We did a special episode where Father Yodeler gave us unique music, and that was one of them. Was this music box in the back of Frontierland shop?
Oh, it was like music throughout the parks?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it felt special. And so I got a connection of like, I got Walt, but I also got like something my dad shared with me. So that was
Yeah.
really cool. And so I shared that in a little text
Yeah.
message. I imagine everyone in the text was like, who cares? It's a box. And I'm like,
I got it. I understood right away. Like it's a great moment. And I'm glad you have. It's great for me to see that you have those moments. Like either one of you guys have those special moments where you like connect with it. It's like, yes, you understand me now.
just the like little nerdiness that's
Yeah.
inside
So-
there.
Now that you've been to the parks and comparing it to old experiences, what are your overall thoughts on the changes?
On it? The changes, I mean, Disneyland seems like it's getting better. The construction stuff, finish your projects. I only want to see one construction project at a time in a park, really.
Yeah.
and make sure your rides are running.
Yeah.
It's tough when you got to say no to your kid on a ride is just broken, and you're going, this should not be broken.
Yeah.
Or I've had to say it multiple times. Oh, I'm sorry, it's broken. Oh, man. To hear your kids say that at Disneyland, I'm like, I paid a lot of money for it not to hear, oh, man.
Yeah.
And so that was hard. So I don't remember having to see like, oh, we can't do that. We can't do that. That's down. So that was a different experience. And like I said, working through the phone, I've done it before, but not as heavily. And I don't know if I'm a fan of it.
No, yeah, it's definitely, you're always down in your phone nowadays. Or at least there's one person. There's usually one person in the party.
In your group that's managing it.
And my wife.
I think your wife took that role.
My wife took that role, and she's fine with it. But there was a moment I had to do it because she put it on my phone, and she's like, "You need to take care of this." And I was like, "Okay," and I did it. And I was like, "I don't want to be on my phone," and so that's the only downside when you're trying to be on a vacation. I know it's not a vacation, but create memories. But I don't want to create memories on my phone.
Correct. That's why I liked one of the things I like about the Magic Band, because it's one last time I have to pull out my phone. I can just walk up. I don't have to worry about, okay, here's my wife's ticket, here's one of my son's ticket, and here's my other son's ticket.
But if you're comfortable enough and you're fine with doing the phone, like I'm completely fine with it. I just and
most people are going to be fine with it, but older people or first time people, I'm looking at that, I'm going...
Or people who have larger families.
Right.
Who have 5 or 6 park tickets on their phone.
I could see the benefit of the Magic Band with a larger group.
But if it's a one-day trip...
No, yeah.
It's like, are they making first-time people... Like, we talked about this in our state of it. Are they making it easier? And I think I can agree with you guys going, I don't think so. For new people.
They're not.
No.
When are they approaching the younger generation? Are they going to be into this? Are we able to plan our trips as kids anymore, or are our parents doing it for us? Mm-hmm. It's just different.
Yep,
it's different from what we grew up with, and we bumped into a guy in Guardians that agreed with you, where he goes, kids just want to ride the same ride over and over. They don't want to ride everything.
Right.
Yeah.
They want to ride the high of like Space Mountain 20 times in a row.
A credit coaster.
And it's hard to do that when you can only get one lightning lane.
Or even just wanting to stay in a line over and over.
The same line.
The same line. It's like, no, there's more. We paid for more experience than this. No, I want to ride this ride. And it's like, oh, I don't remember ever like challenging
you could never
Father
challenge
Yoder.
Father
It was
Yoder.
like, no, the goal every time was to ride everything.
At least once.
Everything. If we were there for 2 days, you're
Even
going to ride every single
teenagers,
attraction.
We were riding the little ones.
Even when we're 20, we're riding everything.
Yep.
And that's also with this trip, I grieve that life is over. I'm not going to have that experience anytime soon.
Right.
Because I don't know what is going to be around the corner in 10, 15 years with kids, and whether they want to go to Disney.
Yeah.
They may not.
They may not. Like I discussed, like my daughter wants to watch YouTube more than Disney Plus. But again, it's just her age.
Yeah.
Things, or she mentions like Nintendo Land and Princess Peach. There's a lot competing. Like Disney was it for our kids.
Universal's stepping up their game right now.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they're opening up their new theme park here in the next year or so.
Yeah.
And everyone that's like been on the ground, like all the reporters and things that have been on the ground, they're like, this is going to be big.
Yeah.
Their Epic Universe park.
And
Yeah.
I remember we had the choice. You can go to Disneyland for a day or you can go to Universal Studios. And it was back in the mid-90s. And I was like, we've never been to Universal Studios. Do you remember going?
No.
I think
was
you
a
were.
baby.
Yeah, I think you were right. Yeah, you were 2 or 3.
You were young.
And I remember we went and I was just like, I regret doing this. This was not as fun as going to Disneyland. And I don't think that's the same thought kids are going to have 30 years later.
Right.
Well, there's so many different experiences now that you can enjoy than going to a Disney park or an amusement park.
There's more
Knott's
options.
Berry Farm has stepped up their game big time recently. Their theme park is definitely becoming one that's.
Did you guys go?
I never went. We talked about
You
going
talked
this
about it.
trip.
Yeah.
Instead of doing 4 days at Disney, we talked about doing a day at Knott's. And they're like half the price of Disney.
Yeah.
And
And
yeah.
you get to the through rides, man. That ghost train,
yeah.
that one was
That
fun,
one's
but
crazy.
it's scary. You're like, man, we're going so fast,
I
but
think
it's just
Knott's
gonna
Berry
break.
Farm is like good for like teenagers.
Yeah, and you do it after Disneyland.
yes.
You don't go back to Disneyland
Yeah.
because then you're like, the Incredicoasts are like, that was cute.
Right.
Nice try, Disney. So there's a lot of thought, with going with kids. It's more of like you have the, hey, we go every year and it's a part of, your kid's going to know everything, or it's like, every 3, maybe 5 years. And so there's a lot of that thought process of like, how do we want to have Disney in our life? And I think we're going to have a podcast on like how we are going to manage Disney in our kids' life,
Right.
in
Yes.
comparison to how we grew up. But yeah, there was a lot of thought and talk into this now with my wife and how to do Disney as a family. But we certainly liked being close to the park with small kids. We
Yeah.
made multiple trips to the
The
hotel.
hotel.
It's
we,
nice.
We were at Camelot Inn, and it was that what it's called?
Yeah.
And it's good.
It's an okay. I mean, it's a motel style.
Yeah.
It's close to the streets, so you'll hear the streets.
Yeah, we heard sirens. But that's so cool is you walk, like where we were on the 4th floor, you could walk out the door and I could see the Matterhorn.
Yep.
And you go like, we're going to Disneyland.
Yep.
Like that was the thing we used to drive on the 10 and you'd try to look like, I'm trying to look for the,
Yep.
where's the Matterhorn? Like that's what you're looking for.
Now it's Guardians because like that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
it
It's
sticks out. But for me, it's always the Matterhorn.
Right.
I try to look for
course.
that mountain because that is Disneyland.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
When I'm going, I was like, yeah, California Adventure step up its game and it's good, but Disneyland's where I'm going.
Oh, absolutely.
Every time. That's
Yeah.
magic. That's where it's at.
It's solid.
And so it was a good trip. A lot has changed. It was good to be with family.
Do you think you'll want to go back sooner than later?
It's going to be later.
Yeah.
Just small kids make it hard.
Yeah.
It's pricey too.
What do
It's-
you
it's one of those
recommend?
So pricey.
It is getting expensive.
It's like 3 trips to Disneyland for 3 days could get me to Europe.
Yeah.
And be there for a couple weeks.
Well, Mark and I were discussing. We're like, this trip to Disney is one cruise.
Yeah.
A Disney cruise.
Oh man. I mean,
Yeah, it's one of those things like me and my wife we love going to Disneyland. We go a lot, and we talked to like my wife. She was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna need this much money, but we needed a lot more money," and she was like, "I need to prepare a lot more for the next
future.
time we go." And then obviously we've talked about going to Japan instead. We're doing a Disney cruise.
you got to save up and say no more trips.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, it's great that, I mentioned this. We plan Disney in our life plan. Like, when do you go to Disney World? When's a good time with your
Right.
kid
Right.
and this? And we mentioned is like, Hera was good. She had some great moments.
Oh.
And we'll probably do that with my second child.
One of my favorite memory of hanging out with her in the park was just her saying, "Let's go play.
That was the saying for the first day. Let's play.
Let's play. Let's play."
I
And I'm
want to
like,
play.
That's like the perfect kid response in a Disney park. It wasn't like, "Let's go on another ride." It was, "Let's play." And it's just like, oh.
Yeah, that was really cute and really fun. Her just falling in love with the park.
Yes.
I just like, this place is fun and we're playing. And so that was good. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. That was a really good memory. And yeah,
It's one we quote in our house all the time
let's
now.
play.
Yeah.
So yeah, good trip. I have very little regrets. Maybe a raincoat. Disney, when it rains, it's different. That's for sure. Just the locals hide.
Nice. Would you want to go back with family or just yourself your family?
It was fun. We noticed a difference, right? It's good having the support around.
Yes.
But the logistics of moving a big group,
It's difficult. It's
hard.
different.
it's a different energy.
It is. Like,
Yes.
like I've done Disney with just my family and then with extended family. The vibe is different. It's easier to move around when it's just your family. But if your children are young, you run into issues of the child swap stuff. And so
Yes.
that does slow you down a little bit. And that's why sometimes having a bigger group when you have young children is beneficial because you're not the only one that's waiting with your child.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had some buddy systems, but
Yeah.
even with the buddy systems, I didn't really ride with my wife on some of these attractions, so
That's
that
it. It
was
happens.
different.
It happens.
And so I was like, okay, it was good riding rides with my siblings, but it was like I missed having like
Right.
the special moments with
Yeah.
my significant other.
You do miss that.
Yeah, because there was one of our first, like within a month, I took my wife to Disneyland. We were a trip to LA, and I was all like, "Oh, let's just go to Disneyland for a day."
Yeah.
And we just randomly did it, didn't prepare, and we just had a good old time, And so I Disneyland has a special place for me with just my family and also with my wife, but it's different. That's
Yes,
for
it
sure,
is.
and
It is.
it's good, but you can't help but grieve the past,
The old.
the old way, the Yodler way. So
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing your experiences. I'll throw this out to our audience. Let us know. Have you visited the park recently? Have you had similar experiences that Japheth and us have had when it comes to experiencing not just Disneyland, but even Disney World? Or I know we have some international listeners. If you visit the international parks, do you experience something different there? Mm-hmm. Feel free to reach out to us. You can reach us through the email, through Facebook, our Instagram, our X account. But until next time, auf Wiedersehen.
Thank you for joining us on this week's episode of the Matterhorn Yodelers. Please remember before your bobsled comes to a complete stop to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And remember,
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.